Episode 77! Will these comics make good film and television shows? We got Fantastic Four from the 80s. We have Canary, the final issue. And we have Dead End Moon number 3. Let's check it out right now. Let's check it out right now. Number 3. Let's check it out right now. Number 3. Let's check it out right now. Alright, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I greatly appreciate you spending time with me here on the channel. And hearing my tirades about movies and television, as well as comics and board games occasionally. So yeah, we're up to 77 episodes already. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, but I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer. Looks like I'm sweating a little bit. And yeah, so I'm excited to jump into this with you guys. But before we do, if you could give me a thumbs up, if you could give me a subscribe, I am trying to grow the channel out. And if this does sound like a channel for you, then that would be awesome for you to join us. You and 3,000 something other people. So. And if you're looking for something that I've written, of course, I am on Amazon, and I am also releasing right now with Late Pledge. Their description below has the link for Lords of LA, issues 1 and 2. Again, we're in Late Pledge. We were successful on Kickstarter, but now's your chance to pick up autographed copies and covers that we will be retiring. So check that out below, and let's jump into it. All right, so we are going to start with Fantastic Four number 292. This is the Byrne run. This is John Byrne. So I had to go buy this. If you watch my other episode with 291 in it, it was about them going back in time to 1936. They were constantly switching back and forth, and it was kind of compelling, I thought. And then all of a sudden, at the end, Nick Fury. And this is with She-Hulk in it. Of course, it was John Byrne, and John Byrne was, the master of She-Hulk. So Thing is off doing whatever, so She-Hulk took over like the heavy role. And so they're switching back and forth in time to 1936 to present day, which in this present day was 1984, I believe. So all of a sudden, Nick Fury, gets into an accident because as they change, their car hits a wall because in 1936 the road hadn't been finished, and She-Hulk saves someone, but he decides he's going to go off and kill Hitler. All right, and this comic would never be released today because it has actually a picture of Hitler on the cover. There would be no way that anybody on the progressive side would allow that because it would be triggering. So yeah, so I did pick this up. I got it off eBay. It was expensive, but not that expensive. So we start out with, it looks like Sue created a invisible jet. But it doesn't have a propulsion, so Johnny is making the propulsion in the back. So I'd never seen that before. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't think they've ever used that before, or after for that matter. So Sue has short hair in here. I'm not a big fan. But meanwhile, She-Hulk has give Sue part of her hair and she wouldn't even miss it. Look at the amount of hair that She-Hulk got. So anyway, this whole first 3 or 4 pages is purely a recap of what's going on. And there you see the red car smashing into the thing. And then on the bottom, She-Hulk saving that guy on the bottom from these gangsters that were about to run them over. And that becomes very important as we keep going. So they have him with them because they're afraid that because she saved him, they changed something in time. So they don't want him. They got to figure out what to do with him. So meanwhile, they can't just have him running around and possibly changing history. So meanwhile, Nick, not giving a shit about changing history, actually walks into Berlin after killing like 2 guys. I guess there's not a whole lot of security at this point, and walks right into the palace there that Hitler is in. Yeah, it's funny that there's on the ad is actually a G.I. Joe comic there. It's American Comics, which I never did. I never really had them. Back in the day, you really have them sent to you because they would come all crushed and everything else. They would just bag them. They wouldn't board them or anything. But then we get a really healthy picture of Hitler there. And Nick misses. So, yeah, I don't know how he missed everybody, but he did. And they shoot at him, and he gets hit. And, of course, he has, armor on, so he didn't really get... you wanted something cool? All right, so you see that says comic book conventions. Oakland, Anaheim, San Diego is all the way down here. Little did they know that in the early 2000s, that would be one of the largest conventions in the world. What is it, 30 years later? Crazy. So anyway, the heroes show up, and they're looking for Nick. So they walk into this warehouse, or not really break into the warehouse, really. And she looks like, my powers are augmented. And Sue is like, yeah, so are mine. So they can't understand why. And then they find this big mech. Of course, we have to have some kind of sci-fi in there. So the mech attacks them, so then they have to fight a mech. So, yeah, it's pretty cool that we have a mech, in the 80s. And, She-Hulk tips it over, rips the arms off, she drops down and says, hiya, you want to come out of there, or do I got to pull you out? I thought that was pretty cool. So meanwhile, Nick is not having a good day. They have now officially beat the shit out of him. And, they're wondering about the armor that he's got, the futuristic armor. And all of a sudden, they go to hit him again, and it's stopped. And then all the guys are thrown. And, of course, Hitler goes for the run. And, it's Sue, invisible, letting him out and, of course, stopping the attack on him. And, she's got to do the pose. Because I'm a badass and I just saved your ass. But she's like, no, you can't kill Hitler because it's going to change time. Everything will be changed if you kill Hitler. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And then he's like, fuck it, and kills him anyway. So I'm like, oh my God, he killed him anyway. What's going to happen? And all of a sudden, poof, they're in a thing. And now Reed was supposed to be dead. And so apparently he's not. And she, runs into his arms. And he tells, why they thought he was dead when he was fighting Annihilus. They're like, well, I don't understand. I just killed Hitler. How did everything just change? And I like seeing how tall She-Hulk is compared to the rest of them. And he's like, oh, Nick, you didn't change anything. Oh, yeah, look at this. So he says that when he was fighting Annihilus, he went into space, and he was able to, hold his breath or whatever in the ball. But he would have frozen. The ball would have frozen. It would have stopped the stretching. So, yeah, the science isn't sciencing there, John Byrne. So, anyway, they say, there's the guy that you saved, except he's old, and he's a mutant. So, he's a mutant, and he has the ability to create time waves based on what was in his mind. So, his mind created a time wave that they got stuck in, and that's why they saw him there younger, because he was reliving part of his life. And then when they traveled, he was creating that world for them. But as soon as Nick killed Hitler, it jolted him back to reality. And none of it was in it if it was real. So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, had some problems. But overall, it's a good Fantastic Four issue, and it's stuff we don't get today. So I'm happy to read this stuff, especially the John Byrne stuff. He just has fun writing this stuff, And we don't really get that anymore, especially North writing this stuff right now. And I am not looking forward to the Fantastic Four movie. Let me know if you guys are. The casting has already thrown me off. The guy playing Johnny from Strange Things, I think that works. Definitely Pedro Pascal does not work as Reed. He doesn't look anything like Reed, and his voice isn't going to be anything like Reed. Uh, when are we ever going to get a good Fantastic Four movie? Probably never. It'll probably never happen. It's probably only happened twice, and it was called The Incredibles 1 and 2. All right, so let's jump into Canary. So this is issue 3, so this is the end. It is an oversized issue, which is funny because I don't know how much I paid for this. Yeah, it's only $4.99 for an oversized issue. So the whole last issue was about the main guy. I forgot his name, but he has this mask over him that has a casket, and Canary is the name of the town. So he goes to this town to escort a guy that is a scientist because there's weird stuff coming out of the mine, and they found some of the people that were stuck down there, and one of the brothers came back kind of like a zombie, and the Indian tribe there had sealed it off, and they of course had broken the seal, so these things, whatever the supernatural thing that's down there, is coming out. But his claim to fame, this guy that has the coffin mask, his claim to fame was finding all of these people that were killed, and the serial killer having a bout with him and then killing him. So there's like pulp stories written about him, etc. So that's basically what it is. So so he goes back home. So the artwork is pretty decent in here. Dan Panosian, I think, is writing it, and Scott Snyder. So look at that face. It's really good. Something happened at his house, that it went on fire or whatever. I don't really know. They really don't talk about it much. But here's the guy. The brother is attacking his sister. They shoot it. So we have monsters running around the town. And you see he's got the coffin, upside down coffin on his bandana mask. And then teeth open up inside the guy's chest, and he goes to attack the girl that's with them. So we have the scientist guy, and then we have the girl, and then we have the guy with the coffin mask. So we got a trio of main characters. So he's going, shot for shot with these things. It's not really doing much. And, now we have a whole bunch of them coming out of the mine. And they're like, oh, man, we're screwed. So there's the leader of the Indians. He doesn't have a nose, so he looks kind of weird. And he's like, what happened to my nose? I just had the sniffles. So we get, battle scene after battle scene here, where he's like, I don't know what you guys were thinking, unleashing this stuff, etc. And the Indian tribe is like, we're gonna go, explode it back and seal it off. But he's like, you can't do that because the scientist is still down there. So give us like a couple of hours to go back there and save him. And he's like, I give you 2 hours. He doesn't say he's going to give him 2 hours. He says, it's going to take me 2 hours to put everything together I need. So if you're not out of there, I'm blowing it. So they're like, okay. And I didn't really understand this. There's a whole bunch of like snakeskin stuff around. I really don't know what was going on down there. But so they take a little minecart ride down into the shaft, and so now they're down in the shaft down there, and there's, I don't know, a woman down there with a baby. I'm not understanding it. I think that's supposed to be his wife that he finds in his house. I just don't understand. I don't understand any of that. So if you guys know what happened to his wife there, let me know. So they take an elevator down into the shaft, and it just keeps going and going and going. And he's like, well, we should have stopped here eventually. And something like spits on them or whatever. And they're oh, that's right. When they had touched, I don't know, the monster or whatever hit them, their ears started to bleed. So I guess they're like infected. I don't know. So there's a lot of questions here I have that's really not explained. So all I know is they're going down there and there's, weird shit starts going on, and now there's more monsters, and they're shooting them, and they're running, and the guy's like, ah! They're like, run, bitch, run! And they slip off the thing, and you would think that that would be a pretty high fall, and they catch on to the rope. And, this is the funeral of his family, so we keep swapping back and forth, and I guess that's... The coffin thing is like a family thing, I guess. But somehow they survive the fall, and it's not only a fall, but everything's topsy-turvy, where some things are hanging out of the ceiling, some things are hanging out of the water on the thing, and they're like, what is going on here? I don't even know what's going on. It's really weird. So... so her father was the owner of the mine, and he was lost down there as well. And they hear this screaming, screech, and since their ears are already bleeding, it's not feeling real good to them. And then the villain actually shows up. It's this creature, and we find out that it's actually her father, is like the demonic thing, which really didn't have a whole lot of setup. So it's just like, okay. And then the killer there, they brought his body back after he had killed him. So that's the killer that he was, the claim to fame that he had. And they're like, we just want the little guy back, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, how about you stay down here with us and you get us out of here, and I'll give you your wife and kid back. So if you can get us out of here. And he's, thinking about it. And they're like, no, but now the scientist guy has both his eyes now. Which I'm also confused about. How does he have his eyes back? I don't know. He got his eyes shut out. So I don't know. So anyway, we get this bout back and forth. And they're, I don't know, was it in this picture? There was one of the pictures, yeah, right here. So they have he literally has tentacles like through them, like piercing them, and like the next picture, I don't even see that they have any blood or anything. I don't know. So he lets them go, and they all run, and you're shooting them, and they're like, you got to go up. You guys got to go up because the time is running out. And the thing is stuck, so he's like, I'll take care of it on my side. And they're like, no, we're not going to leave you. And he's like, yeah, you're going to leave me because I got to take care of this. And I think another side of him, he kind of wants to, I don't know if the wife thing is like holding him back. But anyway, he gets overrun while they go up. And, of course, everything explodes because, the Indians did not wait. And everything explodes. And then we see now, so I assume this is like present day, and his hand starts to come out. Yeah, there's like a truck there instead of a horse. So I assume it's now. So, or somebody gets out of the truck, and I guess they're looking to open it back up. I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, so there was a whole lot of setup for this, and I think the end is kind of a letdown. I don't know. I wasn't really happy with how this kind of progressed till now. Will it make a good film and television show? I don't think so. I think there's a lot, because here's a supernatural western here too. So let's jump into this one, and then we'll kind of compare the two. Because it's going to be a long episode because that thing was so long. I tried to go through it as quick as possible. So this is called Dead End Moon. This was a Kickstarter by Bad Bug. Most of their stuff is like sexual, but this one really wasn't. I was actually kind of surprised. So this is number 3. I haven't collected any of the others, so I was a little lost. So we start out with this somebody breaking through the doorway, and the quality is okay. So it's like a flashback of the little girl, and their house was getting broken into. and and her father's like, I want you to run, and I'll take care of it. He opens like a secret entrance for her, and I guess the bandits or whatever else kill him, and she gets away. And then we have this time later where she's with this guy with a sickle and a ghost. Okay, but everything's purple. Everything that's supernatural is purple. So she has a purple eye, which is interesting. And the ghost is purple, and the other guy also has, and it says that they're infected. So the girl, which I don't even see a girl with them, but there's some kind of girl that is like his wife or whatever else, the guy with the sickle's wife, that the deal is that she has like supernatural guns or something to that effect, and he won't give them back to her until her wife or whatever else is cleansed. So she goes to a carnival that she knows the guy, and he tells her what's going on, and he says, all right, go ahead and take care of it. You see that she's got the purple eye, and they go to the fortune teller, and the fortune teller, even though she's blind, she knows it's her, and the whole bit, and she says, look, I need your help because this, and then she has purple eyes too, so she's like, all right, bring her in, and I need a tether, so I need the ghost, but you guys, the rest of you need to get out of my way. So the sickle guy and her go to the saloon, of which there's nobody else there, and they talk it out. And he says, well, I want my guns back now. I did what I said I was going to do. And she said no. The guy says no. The fortune teller said that she can't take the disease or whatever it is out of her, the infection. She can only prolong it. So I'm not giving you your guns. And that's when she slams his head into the bar. I don't know, since I didn't collect illness, I don't know what the purple eye means. I don't know what the infection means. I don't even know any of that. So he goes to shoot and misses, and she shoots him repeatedly. So he is not in good shape, and she's like, give me my fucking guns, and I'm gonna kick your ass. And he slices her she slices him with the sickle, or whatever, and the owner of the carnival sees a whole army coming, and meanwhile she's doing the whole supernatural thing with the girl to try to cleanse her as much as possible. And all the carnival freaks like create an army, and he's like, I'm dying over here. But I thought I don't know, he looked pretty dead. He was like gray as hell. So I love that the straw man's using the barbell that's probably not even real. I don't know. But anyway, they fight all these guys off. And, there's the whole supernatural thing going on. And she's like, oh, that's right, they want the girl. So he brings the girl out. That's what they're attacking for. And she's like, but I don't want to go. Well, I'm not going to risk my life for you. So, and there's the Spaniard, and the Spaniard is the one that killed her father. So she's giving up the other woman. And we get, that's pretty much the end. So I don't know. I don't know. Because I'm getting a very small piece of a bigger picture. And I don't know the world building here. I don't have the whole picture of everything. So I'm going to reserve, right? I like the world building, but I don't know about the story. I don't know if it'll make a good film or not because I don't know the rest of it. I like the look of it where she's got a purple eye. I kind of like that. But I'm going to have to reserve right because I don't know anything about the story. But it was a fun read. Canary, I'm going to say no. It kind of dropped off a little bit here for the ending. So, I don't know. The story is just not very compelling. And Fantastic Four, we're already getting a movie. But it's probably not going to be good. Not as good as John Byrd's stuff. Should have just let him write. I don't know. I assume he's still alive, but probably should have let him. And you know what? If they had done, this would be maybe they should have changed it. maybe they should have done She-Hulk. I mean, they ruined She-Hulk in the TV show. This might have been redeemable with her never changing. But then again, Thing doesn't change, so the CGI cost would be the same. And it might have been fun to have her there instead of Thing. With a harken back to this era. Where they didn't do I know it takes place earlier in like the 50s or 60s or something like that, but they could have done the 80s instead, or the 90s, and had She-Hulk in there, and that would have been a lot better place if you wanted to do like a female hero, instead of like 3 men and 1 woman. You could have had 2 women, which is I think the reason why they kind of did this. And, and she's fun, too, so maybe you didn't have to do Thing. So, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. All right, let me know what you guys think. So that's it for me. And, remember that Lords of L.A., my vampire mob set in 1950s Hollywood, featuring Marilyn Monroe. There's also a vampire action. There's plenty of blood, sex, and fangs, because it is a little bit of a mature book. The description below has the link to the Fund My Comics. That's the website where it's on right now, because it was already funded through Kickstarter. I have about 9 pages. I just got another page, so I think there's like 8 pages left before I'm completely done. All right, so also, Mark Spears and I have been working on our Classic Monsters card game. And if you want to check that out, we're going to be launching that up on BackerKit. So in the near future, I'm going to be putting a link if you want to be notified for when that comes out to be available. All right, and remember to give me the thumbs up. Remember to subscribe. Ring that bell. It's free. If you're not subscribed, why the hell not? All right, check out some other videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right.